Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're cracking open a source that gets right to the point of something really crucial if you're doing academic research.
Yeah, how to create a title that actually works.
Exactly. We're doing a deep dive into some very practical guidance shared by the Instagram account Academic Practices.
Right. They're all about making the, sometimes complex academic world a bit more accessible. And their advice on titles, really, really valuable.
So our mission today is to unpack that advice, not just list it, but really get into why their approach helps you craft titles that, well, capture your research.
Grab the right kind of attention.
And still tick all those formal academic boxes.
Because, let's face it, you've put so much work into your study. Groundbreaking findings may be a totally new approach.
But if the title falls flat, all that effort might just, sit there unnoticed.
Precisely. Academic Practices highlights this right away. Your title is one of the most visible parts of your work. It's that first impression.
The gateway, basically. It has to reflect the core, grab attention in what's often a really crowded field, and stick to the standards. It's a tricky balance.
It absolutely is. And that's why their guidance is so helpful. They frame it around key questions. Like, how do you write a title that's actually strong and draws people in? What are the common mistakes you really need to avoid? And super important now, how do you use keywords effectively so your work actually gets found? Discoverability.
Oh, that discoverability point feels massive these days. And it's not just about getting published, right? It's about getting read and cited.
Exactly. So Academic Practices offers what feels like a systematic blueprint.
Yeah.
Almost step-by-step for nailing your title. They break it down into 10 steps.
Okay, 10 steps. Let's walk through them. Where do they start?
Step 1 is foundational. Identify the core topic and field before anything else. Get super clear. What's the main problem, the phenomenon you're looking at? And, just as critical, what's your discipline? Are you in marketing, psychology, education? Because that shapes the language, the audience, even the title conventions.
Makes sense. You need to know the what and the where, your topic, and your academic neighborhood.
That's your starting line. So once that's clear, step 2 is list key concepts and fundamental elements.
I gotta brainstorm.
Sort of, yeah. Pull out all those essential terms, the core ideas, the variables, if your work is on, say, consumer behavior, sustainability, and brand loyalty.
Those terms are gold.
Exactly. And these become your keywords later, the things people search for, which leads to step 3. Indicate the type and purpose.
What your research actually does.
Precisely. Are you exploring, explaining a connection, comparing things, evaluating something? And what's the goal? To measure impact, to examine relationships.
To expand a theory. Okay, so being clear on the action and the aim.
It sharpens the focus for the reader immediately, helps them know what kind of study they're looking at.
All right, so we've got the core topic, the key terms, the purpose. What's next?
Step 4 adds a bit of a strategic flair. Add an attention-grabbing expression.
Ah, the hook.
Kind of, yeah. Not clickbait, but a phrase suggesting significance or novelty, like a paradigm shift, a new approach, a critical analysis.
Something that signals, hey, this is important or this is different.
Exactly. It piques that intellectual curiosity. Then, step 5 is clarify the scope and context.
Because research isn't usually universal, right?
Rarely. So specify who or what you studied, where, when. Consumer behavior in Turkey or post-pandemic marketing strategies, maybe in small tech startups.
Got it. It sets the boundaries, tells readers if it's directly relevant to them.
Spot on. So now you have these building blocks. Topic, keywords, purpose, hook, context. Step 6 is work on length and clarity.
Okay. Putting it all together and trimming the fat.
Pretty much. They stress being concise, clear, informative, max info, minimum words. They suggest aiming for maybe 10, 15 words.
Keep it digestible. Avoid jargon that isn't essential.
Yeah, brevity is key. A long, rambling title is hard to grasp and might even get cut off in databases. Which brings us to step 7. Determine the title format.
Is there a standard format?
A very common and effective one they point out is the 2-part title, main title, descriptive subtitle.
Ah, right. Like a catchy bit first, then the specifics.
Exactly. You can use the main title for that attention grabber or broad topic, and the subtitle nails down the scope, method, or purpose.
Their example was good. Sustainable consumption trends. An analysis of green marketing strategies in Turkey. Clear split.
Perfect example. Main idea, then the detailed focus. Okay, step 8, revise for inclusiveness.
Meaning,
Meaning, look at your draft title. Does it really cover all the main parts of your study, or does it accidentally leave something crucial out?
Or worse, mislead the reader. Make them think it's about X when it's really about Y.
Exactly that. You want to attract the right readers, the ones who actually find your work useful.
So manage expectations accurately. Makes sense. Step 9.
Pay attention to terminology. This is that balancing act again.
Right. Using the proper terms for your field.
Absolutely. You need the precise standard language experts expect. Using vague terms signals, well, maybe a lack of rigor.
Yep.
But they also suggest avoiding super obscure jargon if it's not strictly necessary for accuracy, especially if you want to reach a slightly broader audience.
That's tricky. Include the terms experts search for.
Yes, prioritize those key search terms for discoverability.
But maybe explain the really niche stuff in the abstract, not necessarily cram it all into the title.
That's often a good approach. Find that sweet spot, precise for specialists, but the core concepts are still graspable for others nearby.
Okay. And the final step, number 10.
The crucial one, final revision and seeking feedback.
Yeah, fresh eyes on it.
Definitely. You're too close to it. Share it with colleagues, your supervisor, mentors. Ask them honestly, what does this title tell you? Is it clear? Does it make you want to read more?
And be open to their suggestions, even if it stings a little.
Oh, absolutely. Feedback is gold at this stage. They'll spot things you just can't see anymore.
So that's the 10-step framework. Pretty comprehensive.
It really is. But wait, there's more. Academic Practices also gives a few extra recommendations for finding a good title.
Ah, okay. Like bonus tips?
Yeah, less sequential, more like overarching strategies. Recommendation 1 circles back to something we touched on. Be brief and concise.
Doubling down on shortness.
Pretty much. They really emphasize that shorter titles stick better, grab attention more easily. Here they suggest maybe aiming for under 10-12 words.
Even tighter. Their example.
Digital marketing strategies that increase consumer loyalty. Bang! Short, clear, powerful.
Nice. Okay, recommendation 2.
Use keywords. Again, connects to step 2, but framed as a proactive strategy for, search engines and databases.
SEO for academics, like we said.
Basically, yeah. Think, what words are people in my field actually typing into search bars? Get those terms in your title.
Their example for this one.
Brand loyalty and online shopping. The role of customer experience and trust. If you research any of those things, that title jumps out.
Because it hits all the right keyword notes. Got it. Number 3.
Ask engaging questions. This is another way to hook the reader, similar to step 4's attention-grabbing phrase, but using a question.
Why does that work?
Questions naturally create a little knowledge gap, Makes the reader want the answer, which is hopefully in your paper.
Like their example. How are consumer behaviors changing? Post-pandemic shopping trends. Makes you lean in.
It shifts it from just stating a topic to posing an interesting problem directly to the reader. And the last one, number 4.
Yes.
Make a call to action. This one's really interesting. It reframes the title's job.
How so?
They suggest your title can be like an invitation by highlighting what the reader stands to gain.
Okay, give me the example.
Creating loyal customers. A model proposal for understanding consumer expectations. See, it's not just describing the study.
It's offering a tool, a model proposal, for a desired outcome. Creating loyal customers.
By providing understanding consumer expectations, it frames the research as useful, practical.
That's a subtle but powerful shift. It's about the value proposition, right there in the title.
Precisely. It moves the reader from, what's this, to, what can I get from this?
Wow. Okay, so looking at all of this from Academic Practices, the 10 steps, the 4 recommendations, it really does feel like a solid toolkit.
It absolutely is. It takes title creation from just like slapping a label on your paper
to a really strategic part of getting your research out there.
Yeah, it helps you navigate those academic rules while maximizing your potential impact, making sure your hard work actually gets seen by the right people.
It underlines that the title isn't just an afterthought, it's critical communication. Maybe even academic marketing, in a way.
You could say that. In this flood of information we all live in, a carefully crafted title isn't just nice to have.
It's essential if you want your research to actually cut through.
Absolutely necessary.
So thinking about all these strategies from Academic Practices, using hooks, specific terms, keywords, maybe even that call to action idea, how might this make you, our listener, think about balancing that need for scholarly precision with, well, the need to promote your work so it gets noticed?
Yeah, where do you draw that line between the absolute rigor that demands very specific language and making your research discoverable, accessible, and frankly, appealing.
It's a constant negotiation, isn't it? Something every researcher has to figure out.
Definitely something worth mulling over next time you're staring at that blank space where the title goes.
Indeed. Well, that's all for this deep dive into the art and science of academic titles.
Until next time.